Hey, what's up guys? Gary here, Foundry RC, and today we're going to take apart the MTXL and start the build. I have it up on my axis stand, and we're going to go from there. Speaking of the axis stand, take a look at this. Okay, so Axis currently does not make an MTXL plate. This is the 5T plate. This tape here that you can see is because when I received it, it has a little scratch over here. I just want to make sure it doesn't scratch my car. But from what I hear, there's a possibility that there might be an MTXL plate coming out sometime soon. So hopefully, maybe one will come out before I get this build done. If not, maybe one will come out the next time I need to do another build on or a repair. Okay, so what I have for the axis stand here is from another YouTuber, RC Ohio. I'm going to link his channel up in the corner, and I'll also link it at the end. And I'll put a link in the description too. You guys should definitely check out his channel. He's doing great stuff. He's got a bunch of nice cars. Very nice guy. Perfect example of the person we want in this community with the RCs we have. So what he did is he 3D printed this piece right here. And what this does is it goes over here on the swivel. If you got the additional swivel piece for your axis stand, which I highly recommend, if you buy an axis stand, you also pick up this. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this pin out here, and that allows you to engage the swivel. Now you're going to take a 14mm socket on this. I already pre-loosened it, and just take this nut right off. Okay? Then you leave the washer in place. You slip on this handle that he made, and you slip the nut right back in. Or you can slip the nut in first to make sure you get it in. He put a little hex inside there to hold it. Put it in, screw it on, and now when you put the plate on there so you get a little bit more leverage. Okay, so this is how this works. With the little knot, the handle he created here, we take out the pin. I put the pin back in. We take out the pin, and that allows us to tilt it. You see, it's not going unless you give it a little bit of pressure. It's kind of locked in. So we just loosen it up with our hand, put it to the angle we want, tighten it back up, and it's good. We're not going anywhere. Now I have it set to still swivel. I could pull the pins out. I kind of keep it with both pins out because I swivel it all the time. But take this handle here again, loosen it up, bring it back like this, tighten it back up, and it's not going anywhere. Really appreciate it. Thanks again, RC Ohio. Everybody please go head over to his channel, subscribe, give him a thumbs up, tell him thank you from me. You know, if you're looking for one of these also, he said you guys could reach out to him. He may or may not be able to make more, I'm not sure. But go ahead, reach out to him. Check out his channel, give him a thumbs up, tell him I said thank you. Alright. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove all the tires. Take the tool that was included with the kit. Okay, next step, we're going to remove the body. You're going to remove the 4 pins. There's 2 in the front, 2 in the back. And then the body comes with Velcro, but the glue from manufacturing is not actually stuck to the chassis like it should be. This is my 3rd MTXL, and I can tell you they've all been the same. So there's some Velcro, double-sided tape, whatever, and it's, as you can tell, it's not stuck to the thing, it's stuck here. So it comes off, just pull the body off and put it aside for now. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the rear, the whole rear assembly, right? And to do that, we're going to need 3mm Allen key. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove this center support bracket, which is these 2 screws right here. Okay, so on mine I had a problem getting out the screw that was right here on mine. The nut was spinning loosely in there, even though it's carved out for a hex. So I had to grab a plier and hold on to that. I used a needle nose plier, hold on to the nut and screw it out. I did it by hand with the MIP tool right here. I did it by hand with this tool. I couldn't film it because I had to rest the MTXL on my head and I was blocking the camera, so I was using one hand down here on the wrench and one hand up top on the plier, and I was not able to film it. So, but I removed this screw here and the one here. Here's a close-up of where they are because I'm not sure if it's showing well. So on the chassis you got these, and then there's two screws right here. Those are the two I took out. Okay, that loosens this up, so now when you take the rear end off, this whole piece is not attached to it. Should disconnect the whole rear end. So we're going to start with the front. Alright, now your whole rear end should lift right off. Okay, now that we got the rear end out, let's pivot this back up. And you gotta take out the dog bone because that will fall out. Now it's laying loose. We'll just put that on the table too. And now we're gonna spin it around and do the front end. Okay, so on the front end, we're gonna remove these 4 screws up here. You got this one that's straight down the center right over here, and another one right there. That's for the center support bracket, which we gotta take off because it's attached to the front end. Okay, since our rear one was stripping out, we're gonna just try with the hand tool on this one here, and just see if we can loosen it up. Okay, and it looks like the nut's giving loose, so we could just take this one right out. Okay, and I like to put the nut back on the screw, just so we remember what it was from. Makes it a little bit easier to remember what part goes where. Alright, the front one we don't have to worry about, so we're going to go ahead and use the drill on that. It was just the rear one where the little lock nut washer is. So now we're going to take this one here. And now the 4 in the front. Okay, then we need to remove the steering assembly, which is this one right here and this one right here. This should be the gas tank, and this is also the gas tank. So it's just these two right here. In order to remove these two, you're also going to have to remove these two up here. So remove the top two first. Okay, once you remove the 2 screws here, there's 2 bushings in here, so you have to be careful when you're removing it. But you're going to lift and kind of twist on the backwards and forth motion forward to release it, and this should slide right off. The reason we did it that way is because the plastic bumper here, we didn't take it off. We're just removing this whole thing in one shot. So now we're going to pull this out of the way, take these bushings off. Those are the bush. Okay, and then you could take the steering assembly and slide it right up. Actually, before you do that, you're going to have to remove the servo arm right here. So let's put this back down and remove this screw and take that out. This is also a 3mm. Okay, now we can remove the whole front end. Slide this up, and we have the whole front end in our hands. Now, you should probably take this apart a different way, but I'm just trying to take out the whole section as quick as possible because I'm going to be tearing everything down. I want to get working on the chassis and the things that go on the chassis first before I do the front and rear end, because this is going to be a lot of upgrading in just this part alone here. Okay, again, we're going to remove the dog bone. And now we have just the chassis with the motor, the radio, and the radio box, the servos, fender diff, and the gas tank. Okay, our next step is going to be to remove the gas tank. Oh, sorry, nope. We're going to finish removing the steering assembly. Sorry, we got these right here. So we're going to finish removing this. Got a bushing here also. That means the other bushings in there, so make sure you don't lose any pieces. Okay, so the right tool for the job really matters. I don't have the right tool. Like I said in the previous video, my tools are kind of lacking, but we'll get there eventually. I'm going to use this right here. This is 7/16, which is not the right size, but it is gripping it. You're going to put this around here, and I'm going to go into here by hand because I don't want to strip anything, so it's not the right size, and just go ahead and loosen this up. Okay. Once it's loose enough, you could probably do this by hand anyway. Okay, take that out. And I'm going to just set the screw back in here so I don't forget which screw it was. Now you could also use like an adjustable wrench, which I might use on this side because I don't think I'm able to get that around here. Let's see. Yeah, no. So I'm going to use the adjustable wrench. Or pliers. Just don't want to scratch anything up. Okay. And this by hand. I don't know what kind of Loctite they use, but it's kind of gross looking stuff. Alright, so now we're going to remove the gas tank. To remove the gas tank, we're going to remove these two right here, and this one back here. Right over here. Okay, and to remove those screws, you're going to need a 2.5mm. You know, I'm actually not going to remove these from here. I'm going to remove the whole mount from the bottom, because I'm going to be replacing these mounts anyway. So I'm just going to remove the whole mounts, leave them attached to the original tank. Go underneath, and it is also a 2.5. Okay, then we're going to take the fuel lines and disconnect them from the carburetor. The clear one was up top. Alright, then we're going to take a needle nose plier. I'm going to grab our fuel line and we're going to pull it off the carburetor. Clear one's up top, the other one's on the bottom. The one up top, I believe, is a return line. I might be getting that wrong. Okay, now we remove the gas tank and the gas tank mounts. I'm going to go ahead and screw those screws back in here, just so I don't forget which ones they were. Alright, our next step is going to be to remove our engine. Okay, in order to remove the engine, we need to remove these 4 screws right here. They're the ones that have the adjustable slots to move the engine left to right to adjust it for the gearing. Okay, so there's a 3mm. I'm going to get a T-handle just to help us crack them loose. Okay, so we got our DDM tool here. That'll help us get some leverage on these to crack them loose. Now that was actually really loose. So was that one actually. Putting very minimal effort on these. This one's completely loose. And let's see what this one. Also, very minimal effort. Guys, check your screws, Loctite everything, make sure everything's snug, because this right here would have caused a big problem with the pinion gear mesh being off, because these screws are just entirely too loose. They shouldn't be this loose. There's no Loctite, no nothing. I'm using no effort. I could have done this by hand. Alright, let's go put the drill on it and speed things up. Those 4 screws released, our engine should come right up and out. What's still holding it on is the linkage. So we'll come around here and let's remove the linkage. Okay, to remove the linkage on your throttle linkage over here, you're going to go ahead and put a 2mm socket in this right over here, which is the outermost set screw on the linkage. Okay, and you're just going to release this until that comes off. Don't lose that screw, keep it in there. Okay, once you have this off, you can then slide the linkage out. The little rubber piece and the spring are going to come shooting off, so just go ahead and retrieve that. Okay, here's the spring and the little rubber piece. And we're just going to take that, we'll put the spring back on, the rubber piece on, which is just a piece of fuel line, and we'll put this back on and tighten up so we don't lose anything. Alright, so we're on the final stretch. We have the center diff. I forget what this piece is called, but the part of the drive line carrier and the radio box with the servos left to remove. And then we're stripped down entirely. So let's turn this around on the stand here, because not the proper stand, not working. Just need a way to hold it up so I could film this for you guys. Alright, we're going to remove the center line first. So these 2 screws right here, and then the center diff with these 4 over here. Still a 3mm. Okay, I'll pull that out, and the dog bone comes with it. Alright, so we're going to remove these 2 right here, slide them off, slide this out. Okay, now we need a 2mm for these right here. Loosen it up, slide this whole thing off, put it somewhere safe. Same thing here. Loosen it up. I'm going to take off the servo arm. It's a 2.5mm. Okay, I'm going to slide this off again. Keep it safe. Slide it out of this whole thing. And now we're just going to slide them back on. Okay, now the center diff. The 4 screws. Here, 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 here. Okay, now the center diff should lift right up and out. Alright, nothing left but to remove the side rails and the battery tray. Alright, to remove the battery tray, we got quite a few screws. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 screws, 10, 11, 12 screws. 12 screws to release it. It looks like it's the servo standoffs also, so let's go and remove all 12 screws. Okay, everything up until these screws has been 3mm. Now we need a 2.5mm. I'm going to get the bit for the drill. Alright, now we got the radio tray out of the chassis. Put that on our table. And that's it. We'll take off these side guards, the mud guards, whatever they're called. Not really necessary, but I'm going to take them off anyway just to get them out of the way while I'm working on this. And we'll go from there. Alright guys, thanks for checking out the video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, share it, comment down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. There's going to be more of this takedown. I'm going to tear apart the whole front end, rear end, and build the whole thing up. If you look at my previous video, I did a list of parts that's going to be going in here. Lots more to come. Alright, thanks again for watching. Have a good one, and I'm out.